My name is Aiden, 48 years old, and I've spent nearly 2 decades building a legacy in engineering that I thought was untouchable. I sit in my sparsely furnished new office, the termination letter from my boss, Greg, crumpled on the desk, clutching a stack of offers from industry contacts, received just days after my firing. He called me too expensive after 18 years leading the engineering team at Horizon Motors, but his panicked calls have started, a sign my departure is unraveling his world. My anger fuels a plan to turn his decision into his regret, the road ahead unclear but my resolve ironclad. I joined Horizon Motors 18 years ago, a fresh mechanical engineer with a passion for innovation. The company, a titan in electric vehicle design, grew under my watch as I led the engineering team to develop a battery system that cut costs by 25% and boosted range by 40%. My designs won awards, my team respected me, but Greg, the CEO, a slick salesman with no technical background, took the credit, his charisma overshadowing my sweat. I lived frugally, my savings modest, while he flaunted bonuses and a yacht. My colleagues, overworked and underappreciated, leaned on me, and I stayed, believing loyalty would secure my future. The trouble began last year. I just delivered a $50 million contract for a new EV model, my thermal management system the key, and my performance reviews glowed with indispensable. My salary, $180,000 after 18 years, felt fair, but inflation and my team's burnout prompted a raise request, 10% or $18,000. I scheduled a meeting with Greg, presenting data, project savings, industry standards, my tenure. He leaned back, smirking, "Aiden, you're too expensive. We're cutting costs." His laugh cut deeper than the words, and he handed me the termination letter, effective immediately. I left, stunned, my 18-year legacy dismissed in minutes. That night, I couldn't sleep. I replayed his sneer, my anger driving me to act. I contacted industry peers, sharing my exit discreetly, and offers poured in. Green Tech offered $200,000, Auto Innovate $220,000, both eager for my expertise. I chose Green Tech, negotiating a 25% raise and a signing bonus, my decision a rebellion. I drafted a LinkedIn post, hinting at my departure, and it went viral, garnering 5,000 likes and comments like, "Horizon's loss." I saved them, building my narrative. A lawyer, Aisha, reviewed my severance, 6 months' pay, non-compete for 1 year, and advised leveraging my network. At home, I prepared. I documented my contributions, patents, project logs, client emails, ensuring my exit was clean but impactful. Greg called the next day, his tone shifting. "Aiden, let's talk." This was a mistake. I stayed calm, "It's done," and hung up, his panic a first sign. The team texted, "We're lost without you," and I promised support, coaching them remotely. Aisha suggested a whistleblower angle if Horizon retaliated, and I gathered evidence, Greg's cost-cutting emails, my unpaid overtime logs, holding it as leverage. The fallout began. Horizon stock dipped 3% as news of my exit spread, and clients called, asking about my replacement. I joined Green Tech, meeting their CEO, Omar, who praised my battery work. "You'll lead our next model," he said, assigning me a team. I started adapting my designs, careful to avoid Horizon's IP, my skills the true asset. Greg called again, "Aiden, come back. We'll match any offer." I declined, "You made your choice," and blocked him, his desperation growing. At Green Tech, my impact emerged. I optimized their prototype within weeks, improving efficiency by 35%, and Omar showcased it in a meeting. "Aiden's a cornerstone," he declared, the team nodding. I launched a Twitter thread, "Engineering Valor," masking my identity but hinting at my story, its retweets hitting 10,000. Comments lauded my resilience, "You're a legend." And I saved them, my influence spreading. A trade magazine contacted me, intrigued by the rumor, and I teased an interview, holding it as leverage. The next industry event, an auto expo, became my stage. I attended with Aisha, her presence a shield. During a panel, I discussed innovation, subtly noting Horizon's stagnation, and shared Twitter links, my reach growing. Greg watched from the crowd, his face tight, whispers following. My plan was taking shape, a blend of professional shift and public pressure. His scorn had wounded my pride, but my move to his rival promised justice. The expo marked a pivot, and I anticipated his next move, plea or collapse, with cautious hope. He wouldn't expect my strength, and I was ready to see it through. The Auto Expo's hushed whispers still lingered as I drove away from Horizon Motors' shadow, Greg's tight-lipped stare a silent acknowledgement of my power. I woke each morning in my new green tech office, the severance check and termination letter side by side with a sketch of my first engine design, symbols of my transition from scorn to strategy. The company's unease, Greg's escalating calls, Horizon's stock dip, Green Tech's rising buzz, had shifted the ground beneath us, and I was ready to widen the crack, turning his firing into his downfall. The path ahead was turbulent, but my resolve was steel. The fallout from my exit intensified within days. I submitted my final handover, project notes, client contacts, team updates, via email, copying the Horizon board, my tone professional yet pointed, my 18 years of service conclude here. Good luck. Greg called again, his voice cracking. Aiden, we need you back. Clients are pulling out. I stayed calm, you chose this, and hung up, his panic a growing chorus. The board emailed, requesting a meeting, but Aisha advised against it, citing my non-compete, and I deferred, my leverage building. The team texted, Greg's lost control, and I offered remote guidance, their loyalty a quiet ally. At Green Tech, my integration accelerated. Omar, the CEO, assigned me a team to overhaul their EV prototype, praising my thermal system. You're our edge, he said, providing a lab and resources. I adapted my designs, avoiding Horizon's IP, my expertise the key. The prototype's first test cut energy loss by 40%, and Omar showcased it to investors, their nods a promise. I launched a LinkedIn post, Engineering Resilience, masking my identity but hinting at my journey, its views hitting 15,000 with comments like, inspiration. I saved them, my narrative gaining traction. Aisha suggested a vlog, and I recorded one, Tech Truths, teasing my story, its initial views climbing. Greg's desperation mounted. He called daily, offers rising, 20% raise, then 25%, his tone pleading. Aiden, we're hemorrhaging. Come back. I recorded the calls, Aisha advising legal use, and declined, your mistake, not mine. Horizon stock fell 5%, and a supplier emailed, asking about my replacement's competence. I shared insights with Green Tech's procurement, strengthening their position. The board summoned Greg for a review, and a whistleblower tip, cost-cutting emails, surfaced, my evidence in play. A tech blogger contacted me, and I granted a cryptic interview, fueling rumors. At Green Tech, my impact deepened. The prototype's second phase launched, improving range by 50%, and Omar credited me in a press release. Aiden's leadership is transformative, he stated, the team cheering. I posted a Twitter thread, Engineering Legacy, hinting at corporate greed, its retweets reaching 20,000. Comments lauded my grit, you're rewriting the rules. And I saved them, my influence spreading. A rival firm, EcoDrive, offered a consultancy, and I accepted, my network expanding. Aisha documented my contributions, preparing for potential lawsuits, my defense ironclad. Greg's retaliation emerged. He leaked an old project delay, blaming me, but my handover and Green Tech's success countered, forcing a retraction. I filed a defamation suit, Aisha drafting it, and Greg settled, paying $20,000 in damages. The team leaked internal chaos, missed deadlines, client losses, and I coached them via Zoom, their trust in me growing. I vlogged again, tech turnaround, sharing leadership tips, its views hitting 5,000. An industry analyst called, intrigued by Horizon's decline, and I teased a feature, holding it as leverage. The next industry event, a sustainability summit, became my stage. I attended with Omar, his support a bulwark. During a panel, I discussed innovation, subtly noting Horizon's missteps, and shared LinkedIn and Twitter links, my reach expanding. Greg watched from the sidelines, his calls increasing, whispers following. My plan was taking shape, a blend of professional shift, public exposure, and team allegiance. His scorn had wounded my pride, but my move to his rival promised justice. The summit marked a pivot, and I anticipated his next move, plea or collapse, with cautious hope. He wouldn't expect my resilience, and I was ready to see it through. The sustainability summit's hushed tension still reverberated as I left, Greg's sidelong glances a silent testament to my growing influence. I woke each morning in my green tech office, the $20,000 settlement and prototype sketches beside a photo of my first team, symbols of my rise from dismissal to dominance. The industry's shift, Horizon's faltering grip, green tech's ascent, Greg's mounting calls, had tilted the scales, and I was ready to press my advantage, turning his firing into his undoing. The next phase was unfolding, and I braced for the climax. The days after the summit brought a surge of momentum. Omar called, his voice buoyant. Aiden, the prototype's in production, orders are up 30%. I nodded, my designs driving green tech's edge, and pitched a sustainability module, projecting a $30 million boost. The board approved it, fast-tracking development, and I led the team, my leadership unshakable. Aisha texted, Horizon lost a $10 million deal, Greg's blaming you. I smiled, my plan gaining force, and posted a LinkedIn update, engineering impact, hinting at corporate missteps, its views hitting 25,000 with comments like, justice served. I saved them, my narrative strengthening. Greg's panic peaked. He called twice daily, offers escalating, 30% raise, then equity, his tone desperate. Aiden, we're sinking. Please return. I recorded the calls, Aisha advising legal wait, and declined, you fired me. Horizon stock plummeted 10%, and a major client, Electrodrive, emailed, seeking my expertise. I referred them to Green Tech, bolstering their position. The board ousted Greg, appointing an interim CEO, and a leaked memo cited my departure as a catalyst. I vlogged, Tech Redemption, sharing resilience tips, its views reaching 10,000. At Green Tech, my stature grew. The sustainability module launched, cutting emissions by 20%, and Omar promoted me to chief engineer, my salary climbing to $250,000. I documented milestones, design specs, team feedback, revenue gains, building a case against retaliation. The Twitter thread, Engineering Evolution, hinted at my journey, its retweets hitting 30,000. Comments lauded my turnaround, you're a pioneer. And I saved them, my influence widening. EcoDrive doubled my consultancy fee, and I accepted, my network a fortress. Greg's retaliation faded. He leaked a distorted project cost, blaming me, but my handover and Green Tech's success silenced it. I filed a cease and desist, Aisha drafting it, and he complied, his silence a victory. The team shared Horizon's chaos, layoffs, missed targets, and I coached them via LinkedIn groups, their allegiance firm. I vlogged again, Tech Triumph, teasing industry shifts, its views soaring. An auto magazine featured me, and I hinted at a tell-all, holding it as leverage. The next industry event, a Green Tech Forum, became my stage. I attended with Omar, his support a shield. During a keynote, I discussed innovation, subtly noting Horizon's decline, and shared LinkedIn and Twitter links, my reach expanding. Greg, now a consultant, watched from the back, his calls ceasing. My plan was flourishing, a mix of professional rise, public validation, and team loyalty. His scorn had wounded my pride, but my move promised justice. The forum marked a turning point, and I anticipated his next move, surrender or obscurity, with cautious optimism. He wouldn't expect my enduring strength, and I was prepared to see it through. The Green Tech Forum's applause still echoed as I left, Greg's silent retreat a quiet victory etched in my memory. I woke each morning in my Green Tech office, the $20,000 settlement and chief engineer badge framed beside a photo of my first prototype, symbols of my journey from fired to formidable. The industry's transformation, Horizon's collapse, Green Tech's dominance, Greg's faded calls, had sealed my path, and I was ready to crown it with a lasting triumph. His firing had shattered my confidence, but my move had turned it into a legacy. Though the final piece was still forming, the financial rewards fueled my purpose. I invested the $20,000 into an engineering scholarship, funding young talent in sustainable tech, a tribute to my roots. The scholarship's first $100,000 grant launched a mentorship program, its gala attended by industry giants. Omar, now a mentor, promoted me to vice president, my salary soaring to $300,000 with stock options. The EcoDrive consultancy added $75,000, and I donated half to the scholarship, transforming my pain into impact. A patent for my sustainability module was approved, my name on a game-changing design, my reputation unassailable. Greg's downfall was complete. Horizon filed for bankruptcy, its assets sold, and Greg, blacklisted, faded from the scene. Tom, a former colleague, texted, "He's begging for freelance gigs." I felt no malice, only closure, and ignored his final call, my silence a statement. The Auto magazine published my tell-all, "Fired for Value," detailing Greg's mismanagement, its circulation spiking. Comments praised my resilience, "You rebuilt an empire." And I saved them, my narrative cemented. At Green Tech, my legacy flourished. The sustainability module rolled out, boosting revenue by $40 million, and I led a team to win a global award, accepting it with a nod to my journey. The scholarship trained 75 engineers, their projects showcased at a summit, and I mentored a prodigy, passing on my grit. I launched a LinkedIn series, Engineering Legacy, sharing my story, its views hitting 50,000. The Twitter thread, Tech Triumph, retweeted 50,000 times, and I vlogged, Rise from Rejection, its views soaring to 20,000, inspiring viewers with tips, document your worth, pivot with purpose, outlast the skeptics. The industry reconciliation came at a tech innovation gala. Greg, a shadow of himself, approached, his voice low. "Aiden, I was wrong. Can we bury this?" I agreed, meeting privately. He offered an apology and a minor consultant role, but I declined, my path set. We shook hands, a mutual respect emerging, and I donated his settlement offer to the scholarship. Omar joined me on stage, announcing a Green Tech Horizon Relic partnership, my influence bridging divides. The crowd cheered, my victory public. One evening, sorting my prototype photo, I found a note from my first boss, "Keep designing, Aiden, it's faded ink a lifeline." Tears fell as I framed it beside the award, a bridge from past to present. The scholarship's second phase began, funding 100 engineers, and I keynoted a conference, dedicating it to my resilience. The family, distant but proud, sent a congratulatory note, a small thaw. Reflecting, my revenge was about redemption, not ruin. Greg's firing wounded my pride, but my move and persistence rebuilt it. The "too expensive" label was the spark, his panicked calls the climax, and this was my triumph. If you faced workplace betrayal, this is for you. Share below. Subscribe to Revenge Tempest for more victory tales, and hit the bell for updates. Until next time.